we are with learning to curse.
Pussy.
Hey, we say penis enough. I mean, it's time to start saying pussy.
It's true. A lot of men are
Because you put the
word.
penis in the pussy.
And then make it the baby.
You make it a rape.
So, yeah, pretty much. So that's Chuck.
That is Adam.
And as you heard in the background already by now, that is Brian Collier.
A lot of people
Once
think my work is
again.
highly vaginal. Men are often
Anal.
about the word vagina.
Vagina. I like the word vagina.
Me too.
I do too.
I like the way it sounds, like the way it smells, like the way it tastes.
Speaking of vaginas, flying V's.
The mighty.
The mighty flying V. And not the guitar.
The mighty duck.
No,
mighty fucks.
we're talking about the flying UFO V. These guys have no idea what they're in store for.
Really good, dude. Adam, that was really good.
What's that?
Segway master.
That
Segway master.
God damn.
It was like you did that segue while riding a Segway.
We actually just hit record. We do not know what we're talking about.
No.
But I'm just gonna like a fucking dubstep drop.
You're like, stop talking. We're talking about flying V UFOs.
UFO
It's
time.
amazing.
UFO.
That
So
was really impressive.
I've seen so many fucking UFOs,
Some ugly fucking ornithologist.
bird peepers. We'll never do enough episodes about UFOs for me to get all the UFO stories
You've really
out.
seen that many?
I've seen a lot. And I'm gonna talk about a few of them tonight. You know what's really funny? Okay, these guys right here. I was recording one of their old bands, The Letdown, and I've asked them before, and they don't remember this. But we had a recording session, and I was seeing these white. Like they were either lit up white or they're white
the
reflecting
day, right?
during the middle of the day.
I remember.
It was
I was
because
seeing
I
them-
kept ejaculating into your eyes.
Jizzy. So Chuck didn't see him, but he believed us because we were all seeing it and shit. His brother, Jimmy, Brian, and I took them out there. I was all, look, I'm seeing these UFOs
I have terrible eyesight.
every fucking day. I saw these bitches, right? They would come in from the northeast, right? Either they would already be out there, like one or two of them. Yes.
East. Okay.
Mm-hmm. So we were sitting there. So we would go out from the recording session. I showed them, like, look, these guys are coming every day almost.
I remember you talking about it, but I just couldn't see it.
You couldn't see it, but your brother did, Brian did. And I was like, look, they're right there. It was like clockwork. I could take people outside of my house and just show them, and they'd be fucking there every day. And they were either already there, or some of them were there, and the rest would come from the northeast. And they would just kind of like float, like close to my fucking house. It's like, why is it always around that house? Okay. And then they would hang around for a while.
Power of Christ
Kind of like,
compels me.
stay right. Satan! A little spillover from the last episode. And these fuckers would just hang around, and then they would start just going back the same way they came.
Yeah.
And what's funny is around the same time that was
What would be funny is if they're like coming out there and like, guys, look, every time we come over to this spot,
They come
this dude
outside.
just comes out and stares at us.
pretty much, right?
It's true.
Well, around that same time, we had a Super Bowl here. I'm not a football fan,
No,
but
I remember that.
we had a Super Bowl around that
superb
time.
owl.
Oh, what's his name? Fitzgerald ran for a touchdown
I had
last
no
second,
idea.
and then and then we lost with like a minute left. Yeah.
Dude,
Yeah.
you could totally be lying, and I
Sports.
wouldn't know because I'm not a yeah.
No, it was that one time when Wayne Gretzky was playing against Pele.
Against what's his name?
Danny DeVito
Danny DeVito
Yeah.
in
He was the same
Coming
age.
to America.
and his twin Arnold.
Oh yeah,
Arnold.
yeah. And
And then we're
he's
doing like the bobsled
the
team
first
from
time I
Jamaica.
saw you, I thought I was looking into a mirror.
It's not the tumor. I like just doing a quote that's from a totally different
Have
movie.
you been eating other children's lunches?
Stop it, Quaid!
Yeah.
Free Mars, Quaid!
Yeah, check it out. Quaid.
Free Mars.
Start the reactor.
Oh, that's awesome.
Oh no, he says start the reactor.
yes.
Because I just watched.
So, yeah, and he gets, yeah, dude, that's awesome.
It's an
What
amazing
movie is that? Three Musketeers?
Yes.
The Three Musketeers with Orthos.
I recall, it is,
Pintos, and Vaginos.
Yes. And Mallory,
Mallory. Who's Mallory?
the fourth.
The duck?
Yeah.
That's Mallard.
Fuck, you guys just lost me. What movie is that?
I don't know, I'm just making shit up.
No,
You do quotes, I just make shit up all the time.
I know. I'm like,
Where'd you get that from? My
I guess
ass.
I'm out of my league here. There is just one more thing.
What?
First of all, it's a dolphin that's gone missing, not a porpoise.
When I heard dolphins, I think of hitchhikers.
No. But it's Ace Ventura. But
That's Ventura.
Yeah.
Pet Detective.
Yeah.
Pet Dick.
See, I always take, whatever movie we're on, I jump to another one.
No, but
Terrible.
I was on a movie the other day, and you changed it seamlessly.
Yes.
It was beautiful. Two classics.
Like this transition. Let's get back to this fucking. No.
Is your name?
That's a rough transition.
I know.
What is your quest?
I seek the Grail.
And what is your favorite color?
Blue. No yellow.
Tis just a flesh wound. That's the one I used too. Just
off.
segue.
Yeah,
Totally
Which movie's
changed
on?
it.
Stupid.
So
You ever notice in that? I'm sorry, but
Yeah, go ahead.
in that scene in the Black Knight scene where he's like, good
So
tonight.
we were talking about UFOs.
you just cut.
Check.
You just cut them
It's
off.
really important. It's really fucking important.
Yeah.
Just as important as UFOs. Okay, if you look at the background during that scene, there is a fire, and it goes out and it comes back in the middle of the fight scene. If you look at
Poor editing.
it, is no, but I think they did it on purpose. I think
Just
they,
to be silly, like poor
I think
editing.
they did it on accident and went, fuck it.
Fuck it.
Like, yeah.
Oh shit! So yeah, so you remember,
English.
so you remember the
do.
story with the white UFOs,
And a lot of
and if you go on our YouTube right now, in our evidence and experiments,
Oh yes.
we have a video in that playlist, and you can see some of the pictures that I've taken of some of these UFOs. One of them, the last few, is these white UFOs I'm talking about. I used to see them all the fucking time. I would have more
Have
pictures.
them with you right now?
I do.
I want to see.
Okay.
He's got them tattooed on his
Now,
ass.
It's been so long, man. It's been years. Like, but I remember a lot of the time, me and you.
I was
would
like,
end up-
fuck, look at that.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
they're
yeah.
every fucking day, every other day. Like at the longest that would go away was like maybe a few days. And it was like for like a few years straight. And I was like taking pictures all the time.
Yep.
And then what was funny is conveniently, because I had this little fucking Canon Elf. This was before I had a shitty fucking cell phone back then. A little shitty flip phone, no camera on it.
We all did.
And I kept seeing them all the way till like 2009 or some shit like that. When I finally showed you guys when we were recording. And I had this little Canon Elf, and that's what I took most of those UFO pictures of. I used that camera to take most of those pictures with. One of the time I was trying to shoot a little video of it. And I swear to the God I don't believe it. The fucking screen just went black, dude.
Oh my goodness.
I'm telling you, I was like, I'm gonna fucking get some video of this, even though it looks like shit through this camera. Because that's the best I had at it. And
the
when you
videos-
find that a lot of times,
Yeah.
that's all people got, if they have anything,
You
is a
play the
shitty
video
camera.
and it's like, oh my god, I got you right.
No, I'm looking
Just
in the
starts
viewfinder of this camera. I'm looking at it instead of looking through. I was like looking at the little screen, and it's all.
Yeah,
It went
yeah.
fucking black, and the camera just never worked right
Some
after
kind
that,
of EMP.
ever.
Some kind of EMP.
Yeah.
EMPs are not, like,
Motherfuckers.
crazy technology.
No, and it's not.
Yeah.
So whether this is extraterrestrial or some government
Electrically
thing.
modified pussy.
Yes.
Yeah.
So it killed my fucking camera, and I have this camera still here somewhere because I didn't want to throw a few $100 turd, even though it's just basically just a fucking paperweight now.
Yeah.
But I got some photos of multiple UFOs, even
P-hodos.
P-hodos.
That's gross.
So I have pictures of those, and I have two guys here. One who heard us talking about seeing it because he couldn't see it, and then another who saw it.
yeah.
So that's that story. Those fuckers just came and gone all the time. And yeah, the whole thing with the Super Bowl. So around that same time, and this is probably because of security measures and all that. Black Hawk helicopters in Luke Air Force Base, from where we lived in Maryville,
Which I have to correct a thing in that one episode
About
I think it was
Williams.
Phoenix Lights.
Yeah.
I said the Litchfield Air Base.
and you meant Luke.
I meant
Yeah.
Luke.
This was back in
Episode 2,
Yes.
I think.
Litchfield,
Deuce.
I mean, it's in the same area.
people not in
Across
Phoenix
the
don't
street from
care.
Litchfield Park.
they don't give a shit.
But nobody knows
So
that.
Luke Air Force Base was out northwest from where we lived in Maryville, and then Williams is southeast. So every day it was like the Black Hawk helicopters were going from southwest to the northeast, back and forth, around this time. And it could have been it could have had something to do with, ooh, that was healthy. It could have had something to,
Jeez.
oh, so we were talking about the Flying Vs back in the Phoenix Lights episode.
yes.
So I briefly talked about
Flying vaginas.
the V that I saw was very brief.
Shaved.
It was shaved. It was a shaved one. It had a Brazilian done.
It's moving very fast.
Yes.
Up and down. on
No,
your
the story about it is very fast. That's why I'm just going to shoot all these ones out there.
No, that wasn't what I meant. But the V's were.
It was moving at a decent
moving
speed.
very fast.
Yes, this is years after.
It was moving at
familiar
darn
with-
knots.
So check this out. It looked like 5 lights that it could have been one craft or it could have been 5
Right. That's what I
UFOs
saw.
flying together.
That's exactly what I saw too.
So, and that was that story. I just happened to be looking up, saw one traveling northbound. Boom, that story's.
They weren't. Okay, so I was playing basketball.
Oh yeah, so Brian off mic, he also told us that he had seen it during the Phoenix Lights.
You could have told us the
back in
entire
97.
time you were fucking Mike, though.
Yeah, exactly.
But then everyone would know that I was fucking Mike.
Oh,
But
You
anyhow,
have to get off mic. I'm just saying.
rape. So anyway, yeah, I'm playing basketball at a grade school. Which,
during the time of the Phoenix Lights.
Right when it's happening, okay? But what I would do is, as a younger teenager, I would go to my grade school because it was the closest basketball court that I had. So I went down there, and I'm just shooting around. That's all, just like I did every other day.
Shooting
And
the shit, as
I
they
am
say.
shooting
Yes.
the shit. I'm shooting the fucking shit.
And
as they
maybe
say.
eating it later.
What I saw was almost a string of lights, and it was like I'm gonna say between 5 and 7 lights. It's difficult
Yeah.
to describe.
You know what they say? If you can't stand the heat, take off your sweater.
Is that what they say?
So you're seeing the second event that they say that they claim for the
It
the
might
Phoenix
have
Lights.
been before what you saw because you were
I
aware.
saw it.
Well, this was years later when I saw mine. It was
Phoenix Lights.
it was like the V that everybody else claimed. Okay, because the famous footage that you see from the
I
Phoenix
see what you're
Lights
saying. I see what you're saying.
was around the mountains and all. Those are flares and that. But there was a separate incident the same night, which was a V flying around.
Yeah.
Chuck saw that. I saw one similar, but it was years after. It was like the early 2000s.
I saw
when
the
it.
actual thing. I didn't realize it was a thing until I
Until-
saw it on TV.
Yeah.
I saw it on TV.
Everybody was letting me
And I
know
was
like this
I
was going
saw
on, and
that.
I didn't see it during that night.
Yeah, and when the weird thing is like I ended up getting a pilot's license.
And flew.
And no.
Yes.
Well, yes.
You got the flu?
But the point is I didn't have the knowledge or the know-how that
Look
I
at the
did
swine flu.
before
and
that.
Pigs fly.
And the fucking lights that I
H1N1?
saw were so weird and distinct that I was able at like age 13 or 14 to go, that's fucking not right.
Yeah.
And so I'm shooting around.
Because even when when Luke redid the supposed flares,
No.
it didn't look anything like
No.
it.
Because what I saw was I'm shooting around and I'm like, those are some weird looking lights. And they were spread out a great distance over the sky. And this was over the north. Okay, so I'm on like 59th and McDowell and I'm looking out north.
North.
It was north. Like,
So it wasn't, because
like-
that would have been south from where you were at. Because where we all grew up over there, the famous footage, that was south of us.
But it's
I think he saw it coming in.
Yeah,
And
see?
then I saw it over our houses.
right. And if you go over it actually, the sightings first started up in
north,
Utah.
yeah.
In Utah. So I think I probably saw that first. And these lights, they were spread really fucking far apart, like probably thousands of miles. And then I'd be shooting around and I would look, and then they would be in completely different positions, way farther.
Because they were saying they were going in like in and out in intervals and shit. Like,
They were. It was
boom,
like lines, and they would come together to make like one dot.
Yeah.
And I'm
Come
like,
together right now on Eileen.
and I'm like, what am I looking at? And I'm just a kid, but I didn't know it was something crazy until way later.
Yeah.
Until I saw it on like sightings.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was a trip. It was a trip.
And you know what they say? A bird in the bush is worthless, as I live near a grocery store.
That's true. Speaking of that, one Thanksgiving I decided to shoot my own turkey.
Yeah? Is that
I
a
took-
euphemism for rape?
It's a metaphor for.
I know what a meadow's for.
It's a metaphor for. I took a Remington 12 gauge semi-automatic shotgun and I shot the fuck out of a turkey for Thanksgiving.
Shouldn't have been fucking that turkey.
And then all the people in the grocery store were staring at
So
me
it wasn't
really
fucking
weird.
anymore because you shut. Oh, shit.
I actually didn't see where that was
No,
going
it's
there.
not my joke.
Nice.
It's from Dr. Katz.
I know, but
I didn't tell the Satan joke on the last episode. We'll have to do that some other time.
You were going to talk about a bubble.
A bubble, yeah. I know. I keep wanting to talk. Remember a bubble on the episode before that.
A bubble?
We'll talk about all these things as an add-on at some point.
Yeah.
Is all this gonna get?
It's a cum bubble.
Some of this will get probably edited into like Patreon fun stuff.
Yeah.
You pay, you get to hear all this extra shit.
I remember my first cum bubble popped in a little bit.
pie.
Got
Right into my face.
eyeball.
Another UFO.
You are not.
So most of the UFOs I've seen started from when I was a little kid. through my 20s. But since we started this podcast, right?
You've seen 17 more.
No, I seen one more though.
Oh.
It was
You
weird.
saw one recently?
Yes. So check this, and I got a picture of it. So if you watch this, if you watch the video, the little slideshow video that we have on YouTube, the last one on there, which is weird because all the photos I have of UFOs were from like the mid 2000s.
U-boob.
Most of the UFOs I've seen were from when I was a little kid. It kind of stopped, came back, my teens and 20s and all that, and then it stopped again.
Yeah.
But then we started getting interested. See, that's why I'm wondering if there's more to it. Like if you're interested in things, the way where your mind's at determines how the frequency when you see these things. Because as soon as we started working on the podcast, because our first couple episodes came out in the beginning of February, but we had already been recording a few back in January. My wife and I had our wedding anniversary January 28th, and we went out to eat at the place that we got married at. We get outside and we're just looking around and enjoying the day, taking some pictures, and sure as shit, I see something flying around in like this circles. And I'm like, it doesn't look like a drone. It looks big enough to be like a Cessna kind of plane.
Yeah.
But the way it's flying around, that would just be really irresponsible.
Did it have any kind of lights on it other than?
It had no lights. This was during the day though too.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which is funny because like that's some stuff that's happened to you since we started the podcast, and at least 3 times I've been fucked by Satan.
There you go. See?
Oh my god. Thrice?
Thrice. First
Thrice.
was rape.
He's probably trying to open a dimension to the nether realms.
In your
Trying
ass.
to open my dementia.
Your dementia. Yes.
Yeah.
So this thing was flying around in circles, dude. Like the speed that this is going around, I was like, "There's no way. It's got to be a drone, though." But it looks so big. That sounds terrible. It looks so big that it couldn't have been a regular drone. And then I was telling Dee, I was like, "Look at this thing. Do you see any wings on it? Because I have pretty good vision."
Yeah. Butterfly wings.
And she's all,
Flappy.
"I don't see any wings on it. I didn't see any wings on it. It looked like a perfect
How far
disc."
away was it?
I would say it was like not even a mile away.
Nuts.
It wasn't even a mile away. You know?
We're not talking nautical terms.
And this thing looked like it may have been about the size of like a small plane.
Yeah.
And I was like, but there's no way that there's a fucking drone that just doesn't have any features, any wings on it or anything. It was just, this thing was
Giant.
just, it was like a disc.
Yeah,
and it was just
dick.
going around in big circles. And I snapped a picture of it. I was like, cool, I'm gonna try to take video of it. And then it got out of, no wings. And it got out of distance. It got out of view.
Yeah.
Because it was low enough to the neighborhood to where it didn't take much for it to get a little ways out and me not see it anymore. And I was really considering getting in the car and just trying to follow this thing. But it was our anniversary, so we were like, no. But I got a picture of it, and it is at the end of that video. But I find it funny that I stopped seeing them for probably the last 8 years now. It just stopped, like around 2010 or so to now. Haven't seen anything.
Yeah.
Well, UFO related anyways. And then all of a sudden, we started getting interested in this. I'm like, man, I'm going to tell all these stories about UFOs. Boom, see one.
Stop you.
And you guys are trying to stop me. Stop trying to stop me.
Hey,
So that's that story.
did it look anything?
Let's see this.
He's gonna show you a picture of his dick.
I know.
You look like this.
Hey, so check this out. Now look, from a mile away, this picture I took, I had just gotten off the bus in Tolleson, and there's only 2 in this picture. I tried to get off.
Nice. So Brian's got a picture.
Well, no, these are not UFOs, okay? I can identify.
You already identified this thing.
These are ospreys, okay? They
Oh yeah, the helicopters type planes.
and-
I've seen them in Texas, so I know what those look like, and it
Right.
wasn't that.
They kill.
And oh yeah, well here's the other thing. It made no
You said
noise.
like a mile away.
It didn't. There was no noise. It was probably less
Right,
than a
they're
mile, maybe
very quiet.
half a mile out. Maybe half a mile out.
Okay. Well, I was just gonna say because I saw 3 of them fly right over, and they're very like.
But
if
you could
saw
see
it
the
from far away, like they would look around you.
Yeah.
But
This thing was making like really quick. Even Dee was noticing
they're
that
slow.
they're making these quick circles.
Yeah.
And I'm like, it's gotta be a drone. There's nobody flying around in something making fast circles like that over the neighborhood.
Yeah.
It would just, or it would be really irresponsible for a pilot to be doing that over a neighborhood. Now, granted, we were somewhat near Deer Valley Airport, and they would have small planes like that. But there was no fucking sound. No sound at all.
Yeah.
And it didn't look like drones usually have, they mimic like planes or they have some kind of wings or some shit. No. And it would have been a big ass fucking drone. So I'm at a loss to identify this thing. So UFO, it's unidentified flying object.
Yeah.
I mean, until we can
identify
it's
it.
a
It had
UFO.
to have been something, but I don't know what it was.
Ornithologist.
A bird peeper. So, really quick.
It was a gnat flying like
Really
2
close
feet
to
in
you.
front of your face.
Right.
I'm just kidding.
I'm like, and she's like, yeah. I'm like playing up what she saw. No, but she couldn't figure it out either. She didn't see any wings on it. Zooming in, I tried to zoom in the best I could because it was like about a half mile out, and you'll see it. You guys will see it on that photo. Zoomed in the best I could with my Galaxy S7, and it was just like it was still fucking tiny in the camera on it. So, no wings.
No wings.
No wings. It didn't have
no wings.
No Red Bull.
I have no wings.
No wings on this one. Speaking of no wings, so the first picture you see in that video was a little silver UFO. Same thing. A little disc.
Ned.
This one wasn't flying around crazy. It just kind of trucked right along the sky. And I zoomed in as far as I could.
What along the sky?
Trucked along.
Did it really?
Like a trucker.
How high
truck.
do you think it was?
Okay.
Have you ever had
On a scale of
Probably
ground to
smaller
me,
than plane.
how high was it?
What was it?
I said on a score of ground to me, how high was it?
Ground to you.
Yes.
Have you ever hung out at like a small airport for a little bit and seen the planes that just sort of land and they take off and they land again? How high they are? Like
Ish, yeah.
that's like 2,000 feet.
Okay.
That height. So that distance.
Well, I would always watch the commercial airliners going by my house.
Right.
This thing was maybe a little bit lower than
higher.
that.
They're gigantic.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're much higher.
This thing was probably, I mean, this is an amateur guess on this. I would say maybe half the size of like the one you guys are gonna see in that first picture. Maybe about half the size of an airliner and a lot lower.
Okay.
And just trucked along. That didn't do anything crazy. Just went across the sky. So I was like, maybe it's a plane, but why am I not seeing wings on this thing? Zoomed in on it, nothing.
Huh.
Just a disc.
Yeah.
Just kind of trucking along. And the thing I noticed is majority of these sightings.
Gigantic helicopter.
But it made no sound.
I'm just curious.
But it made no sound.
Yeah, that's true.
And this one was silver.
So I'm just trying to. Yeah.
I know, right? I racked my brain on
It
it.
was a Woofopalooza.
Oh man, it had see-through blades. Yeah. So that was pretty much that on that one. Nothing to really expand on that one, but you'll see the picture and stuff.
Hey, so
Yes.
you guys know how I'm big into chemtrails. I know this isn't a chemtrail podcast, but
No. Chuck doesn't believe in them. Sometimes I'm on the fence about them. I mean, it's
just being a pilot and having to learn all the clouds, all the different clouds.
Yes.
You got your stratus and your cumulus and cumulonimbus and all these fucking weird cloud shapes.
the flying nimbus.
The clouds that we see most of the time in Phoenix now are none of those. They don't really exist in fucking.
If they're not chemtrails, then they're formed because of contrails, at least. I mean, definitely.
Yeah, but
especially when the canopy out across the sky, you have a whole sky of fucking clouds.
The only reason you see a little tail behind an airplane is when it's high enough, because for every 4,000 feet that you increase, it drops 1 degree Celsius. So it gets really cold up there. So the engines are hot and they create moisture.
Yeah.
So what happens when
Steam.
that heat, so when that heat leaves that area, it cools back off and it goes back to normal.
But what's in it that makes it linger?
That's when it's not a contrail, in other words.
Distance.
It's not science. You take a plane, you put it at 35,000 feet, jet engines, and there's a little tail behind it that doesn't stay. That's a contrail. It's just a little tail.
Exactly.
That's a real contrail. It's
Because at some point, it's got to cool down and it dissipates.
It happens in seconds. It happens in fucking seconds. Okay, so when you get an airplane that's this big, okay, first of all, and a lot of people go, oh, it's exhaust or it's pollution from the engines. It's like, well, that jet's got 2 engines, but there's 5 fucking streams coming out of it. So there's plenty of proof that shows planes that have canisters and it's aerosol. Another thing too is that proves, and this all goes to the UFO thing.
Yeah.
So you got your little plane that's traveling, okay, and let's say it's not a contrail, it's a chemtrail, okay? So it just produces this big, fat fucking stream behind it,
Right.
and it doesn't go away. and then you see a little chop. It's like if you're looking in the sky, it's like a half inch and it stops, and then it
lets it go and it starts back up. Yeah.
You take a fucking can of hairspray, you just spray it. What happens eventually? It starts to sputter. It'll start to sputter, and what do you got?
So you're saying these are sputters, pretty much.
You gotta shake it, right? Exactly. You got.
So it's got to reset, and then they start doing their shows.
Yeah, and so if you take a day, and a lot of people don't have this time, you take a day and you just watch. These trails will come. They'll start as little streams, really, really high, and then they'll move as they fall down. From, I'm gonna say, at least fucking 20,000 feet down, and they settle. They're a certain weight, and and they dissipate over the city, and they make clouds. They literally make these hazy fucking clouds, and they're unreadable. They're not stratus clouds. They're not cumulus clouds.
They're just there.
So
I love when you have days like that where it's just like this big old canopy, the whole sky's full of it, and people are like, it's gonna rain. I'm like, it's not gonna fucking rain from those things. Rain. That's from planes.
Yeah, it's what it is.
Because if you watch, it expands.
They're not
and then they start meeting up with other contrail, chemtrails.
Exactly. When you see stripes and streams going in all different
those aren't natural clouds.
Those are not contrails. Yeah. And then, they're not clouds. But eventually, it'll blanket the sky.
Yes.
The point is, you can't see up. So, if a lot of people are like...
It is hard to look at, even with sunglasses. I know it's hard to look at those clouds.
They're like, why do they do this? Like, why do they
keep you from seeing shit.
And I think one of the reasons is to keep you from seeing shit. Because a lot of people see shit all the time now. And with... it doesn't mean that the occurrences have increased.
If you notice in all those pictures that I taken of UFOs, there's no clouds in those pictures.
See what... Yeah, see what
We're on to something here.
It's easy. And one of those planes, just one jet, but it can take off.
If it crisscrosses across the sky over a few hours.
Half of Phoenix. Cover half of Phoenix.
A few hours, that shit expands.
It does. And it dissipates and it comes down and it forms clouds.
The definitive reason for them doing this, the jury's out on that. I don't know. I've heard all kinds of theories.
There's barium.
Tons of theories.
Right. But there are laws. See, and here's the thing. This is where it's not a conspiracy. I wanted to write a paper about it.
Well, it's not a conspiracy when you can look up and see that this shit's coming. It's how come one day it can't all be because of different weather patterns.
No, it's not. And
contrails dissipate, these things linger.
Exactly. So I wanted to write a paper about this, and there's a database in the college. And so everything that you do when you write a paper, it has to be from the college database. Everything I found said nothing about contrails or aerosol spray or nothing. But I found in the legal database a bill that was passed, bless me,
that okayed it for
shortly, legal piece of a document.
Power of Christ impales you.
Thank you. A document that was shortly after 9/11 that had the words chemical aerosol spray in it for the purpose of geoengineering, and it says it right.
That's one of the big theories.
It's a law,
but there's a little more to back that because of it. Yeah, it's a law.
See what I'm saying?
And there were clouds. I mean, it's not a far stretch from. They've been able to cloud seed for fucking years.
For a long time, since the 50s.
They've been able to fuck around and manipulate weather patterns for purpose in combat.
Right.
I mean, that's decades old.
Yeah. So if they wanted people not to believe in UFOs, it's really easy to
hide them.
Yeah.
Well, you guys, some people are smart now. There's a lot of videos popping up where people are doing infrared or night vision during the daytime with their cameras, and they're catching all kinds of shit.
Nice.
It's fucking shit that they can't see when they turn it off. They turn it on, and they see all kinds of fucking activity and shit. Now, are they faking these videos? I have no way of knowing.
Or are you seeing bugs flying around?
I know, right? It's very possible.
Yeah.
But it's funny that's like a thing
Like when
now.
you shine a black light on a bed.
That's like, oh, wow.
That I've been in.
There's
and it glows.
Potential children of days past.
Yes.
It's all over my head.
The whole bed is glowing from corner to corner. There's not a dark spot on it.
So oh no.
It's rock hard. That sheet is like, no, don't try to get underneath it.
Why does it crunch when I lay in the bed?
The whole bed is just one big glow stick.
Yeah. It's like trying to land or a giant plate.
Yeah.
I have 2 more short UFO stories before we get into the really good ones.
Okay.
It gets better. Trust me.
Better than semen jokes?
Yes. So
I'll believe it.
So one of the other daytime pictures
semen
that you'll see.
Back in WW2, I used to be a seaman. Now I just put it all over my wife's ass.
She doesn't even know I'm doing it half the time.
So the other UFO that you'll see, I have a series of them, and you'll see that it looks like what we consider the TR3B, the black triangle. Mm-hmm. And so I saw this
African American triangle.
Yes, pretty much. So, anyways, I saw this thing like shortly after sunrise, and you'll see in the pictures it goes from darker to lighter to lighter to lighter. I was watching this thing for a good 30 fucking minutes. Mm-hmm. And it was just sitting there, and I'm like, okay, well maybe this thing's a kite, right?
A what?
A kite.
Are you talking about
You thought I said a kike?
No, I didn't.
You racist. You racist. So, anyways. So I was sitting there trying to look and see if this thing would like change form or kind of bob around like a kite would.
Yeah.
And it did.
A what?
A kite.
Okay.
Kite. So it did no such thing.
It does.
It just stayed there. Every now and then it would kind of drift a little bit, just a tiny bit.
Yeah.
But it would mainly, for the most part, it would stay in place.
Those were,
and we're talking,
those are tourists from the future.
Right? Just kind of hanging out.
Sitting there, like if we sit
Well,
in this
where
little
I
spot,
saw it,
there's only one guy that's going to see us. Mm-hmm. And we know this because
he's
we're
going to
time
watch.
travelers.
We're going to wait him
the
out.
ones that were looking at you from when you were standing out in front of
We
your
heard
house.
the episode, so we went back and made it happen. So so you remember where my where the old house was, right?
Yeah.
So that distance to maybe, I'm assuming that this thing was probably maybe over Cricket Pavilion, right? And I'm thinking, okay, either that or it's much closer and it's a kite.
You mean Desert Sky Pavilion?
Well, it became Cricket at some point.
It's like,
I still call it Westridge. I still call it Westridge Mall over there. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But so anyways, this thing just pretty much stays in place. Once in a while, we'll kind of like drift a little bit, but nothing like a kite. And then on top of that, it wasn't a windy day.
A what?
It wasn't a windy day.
Which means that if it was a kite, it better be jet powered.
Right.
Stop it.
So I was like, okay, it's not windy. How the fuck did they get this thing up there?
Exactly.
And it's staying like almost perfectly still every now and then have a little drift. And
Telekinesis.
If you could run fast enough, if you could run like, I don't know, 60 miles an hour, you could get a kite to stay. You know what I mean?
Get in a car. Somebody went out there with a car and then they just stopped. That's the only way this thing was happening.
They drove really fast in a circle.
But this thing outlasted me because I was like, fuck, man, it's just staying there. So every so often I would take a picture. And if you look at the series of pictures, it starts out, like I said, the sky's darker, the twilight's a little darker, gets lighter, lighter, and lighter. And this thing outlasted me because I was like, fuck, this thing's not moving at all. Yeah. Or very little. I went inside, came back out, and the fucker was gone.
What if you found out that it was you?
In the future.
30 years
to give me a good story for this podcast.
Exactly, so that you could afford to come back in time. It's a paradox.
Well, you know what's funny about that with time? I have
Is that why, like, in like 30 or 40 years, I come back in time and rape myself to give myself that edge?
Oh man,
that's amazing.
So it's funny. It's funny you should bring up time though, because one of my earliest stories may have been the same fucking thing when I was a little kid. These guys aren't taking me serious.
No,
as much as we joke around on this show,
I have been taking you seriously.
I've been really wanting to get this out, but we are a very funny show.
It was. It wasn't just what he said. It was the
face. It was the attitude. It was the
delivery.
delivery.
About timing.
Yes, it's comedic timing.
Because I'm like, it wasn't funny, really, but why did I laugh so hard? Because it was fucked hilarious. Up. Yeah, it's like to give me what edge? Give me what edge for the show? The rape edge?
Yeah.
Sorry,
I keep getting like.
It's amazing.
Those messages. No,
and that's amazing. A lot of people think that
he's dissecting the joke.
If you touch yourself from, if not like. When I think about you, I touch myself. But you come from the future and you touch yourself, it starts a chain reaction that will destroy the entire universe.
Starts a daisy chain reaction.
Honestly, I don't think it would. Why? Why would it? What? For what reason? Because here's the thing.
It's a paradox. It creates a paradox.
But so it's because it's you coming in contact with you. If you think about it, and we've discussed this before, essentially you're not the same you at all physically.
When you can
from
if you're 50, 60-year-old you visiting 20-year-old.
So much time passes, all your cells have fucking regenerated. So
say like 55-year-old him comes back and rapes 50-year-old him when the technology's banging.
Yeah.
Right? He's gonna recognize.
That becomes a thing. There's like websites of that. Surprise rape of younger self. That's like a fetish. That's a thing.
So here's my question:
when you're not, your brain isn't pumping out the dopamine anymore off of regular porn. It's like you gotta watch videos.
I can't just masturbate myself.
Time travel.
I need to think.
Time travel rape.
And go, if time travel ever exists, it's like on Bill and Ted, where they're like, well, we have a time machine. We'll just go into the future and we'll put some keys right over here and some keys are there because they went back in time and they did that.
I wanted to do that as an experiment. Like do something legit that a time traveler would feel worthwhile to come back and put and to meet with you
like
somewhere.
A time capsule.
And then you go there and they never fucking meet with you.
What you could do. Okay, look, this is another paradox, and this is gonna sound really dark. I would never do this, and I don't condone this. You could put a gun to your head and go, if time travel exists, I'm about to squeeze that trigger in 3, 2.
Oh yeah.
Your future self is gonna fucking be.
Well, no, because you're stupid enough to shoot yourself. There's no future you to come back and save you.
See, that's where the paradox is.
Yes.
But that's the same thing about if Chuck. His future self comes back and rapes him to give him the edge.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's that I need for the morning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's that edge.
Future him had the edge, so where did he get it?
From himself.
From himself, from raping me. It's a perpetual edge machine.
But there had to have been a beginning.
A first one. See,
yeah, there was a meek one who's like, you know what? I think this Chuck needs.
Is that you, or is this where you got all your edge from right now? It's already happened.
Yeah.
Right? It's a thinker.
I smell a time travel episode coming soon.
Fucking my brain, the flux capacitor.
So you're like, I'm waiting for the edgy Chuck.
So remember that the black triangle, because I think something that happened to me when I was much younger, and not rape, maybe was the same. That? Maybe was the same thing. It gets fucking spookier, dude. It gets spooky.
I'm just trying to figure out why they visit you so much.
I know. So I had a friend so remember in the episode with Jeremy, we were talking about the friend of mine that was trying to help me out with meditation and all that. Yes. She said, you fucked up. And anyways, I figured it out. I was meditating properly after that. Anyways, that same girl was really into tarot cards. What I found really interesting is before I even really got into talking to her about my UFO experiences, she kept talking about like, she added a little bit of like quote unquote psychic-ness to it.
Right, yeah, some people are really good at it.
But she was always like almost like it's a tool to like enhance your psychic ability.
That's what it is.
Her big thing was, the credibility here is she kind of predicted my wife coming along. A lot of different attributes, a lot of things about her and about her father as well. So it was like undeniable when I met her. I was like, yeah, this is who she's talking about. Now it could be a psych out thing. Like you look for that because somebody told you that that's your future.
Type thing.
Yes.
The odds of that are fucking. Someone could take some cards out and throw them out and go think of a thing, and you think of it and you're like,
not that thing, a different thing.
Exactly. Yeah. Or they tell you the odds are slim to none that you're gonna meet a person
that has several attributes, right, and the same story with the father and all this. So
what I think with another thing too is that the humans have a confirmation bias.
Yeah.
So she could have also said like 15 things that weren't correct.
Yeah.
And all you're remembering are the ones that were correct. This is the thing.
Pretty much majority of what she had said was pretty spot on, which was like, So there's that. But then she also kept talking about, she kept calling them flyers. And not like the flyers that you hand out as a musician to get people to come to your show.
Save the clock tower!
Yeah. Even better take on the flyers. So she kept saying there's these flyers or watchers that were involved with me. Mm-hmm. And that was that. I was like, fuck, okay, well, this whole thing could be bullshit. or if I really do buy into the whole she predicted my wife coming, well, then what is that?
Maybe they're not UFOs. Maybe
there's something else.
Angles.
I buy UFOs more than I buy that. But I mean, who's to
That's
say?
why you keep seeing the triangle.
But when I say, I know, right? But when I say UFOs, though, I mean, this very, very well could still be government shit. It still could be time travel.
Government cheese
in the sky.
I mean, it's totally
or aliens. I mean, I'm not gonna put a label to what I think these things are.
You know when someone gets an entity or a person gets desensitized to something so much, they'll start forgetting that it's supposed to be a secret. Mm-hmm. They're like, fuck it, what are they gonna do? We'll fly 3 of our UFOs across the city and just see what happens. Like, what are they gonna do? They're gonna post some videos, everyone's gonna think it's fake.
Well, if it has anything if it has anything to do with me personally or not, that area was a fucking hotspot for UFOs. Because I showed you UFOs there. Chuck had seen his UFO not too far from there. The Phoenix Lights was not far from there.
It was like 3 miles from your house where I saw.
Right, and then every one of them that I've seen was all pretty much all in that area, except for the one recently that I saw with my wife. So there's something about that area when it comes to UFOs. I mean, Arizona, get this, so Maricopa County is only second to Los Angeles County.
Really?
In the highest reported. Now, every UFO sighting I've seen, I've never reported them to fucking MUFON or this or that.
It's because there are no natural clouds here. There are very few natural clouds here. You remember growing up how it would be blue skies? There would be blue skies. And
except for the monsoon season. And most of that was fucking dust.
A lot of people are like, well, it's climate change, or you're just remembering it wrong. Here's the proof. Go on Netflix, look up any show or any video from the 90s. And look for chemtrails.
Well, Chuck and I noticed that.
Not fucking see them. You will not see them.
We had a conversation back in 98 or 99, 99, where we saw like an X in the sky. And they were fucking contrails. They were fucking chemtrails or contrails.
One time,
making an X.
Remember those old
This is the late 90s, because we thought it was weird at that time.
The check in the queue?
Oh yeah. Checking the
check. Yeah, but it was like a check in the queue.
Yeah.
Was what it was called. And this one time, I stepped outside and I look up, and there was a flock of ducks, and they were in the shape of a check mark.
Nice.
And they flew through a cloud or by a cloud, or like across a cloud that was shaped like a Q.
That's amazing.
Subliminal advertising.
Right. They were like what do they call them? Homing pigeons and shit. But they're
homing ducks.
Yeah, they're homing ducks. They're supposed to make shapes and shit.
Homing
but
ducks.
I remember there must be something to it that I would remember that from those like 98 or 99. And Jeremy was there as well, and we saw that X. We were coming home from somewhere.
Yeah, I remember that.
Jeremy's mom was giving us a ride home because we were fucking somewhere like usual and shit, and then she picked us up.
The X. I've got.
Yeah, they still do to this day. But I remember you see it more often now. So it's like every day, every fucking day, pretty much you see this shit. But back then it was weird. It was weird to us. And people try to say, like you said, that it's been around since forever. No, it hasn't. Look at old movies, look at old videos. And I know for a fact when we saw that, we were like, that's fucking weird. Why would they even intersect like that? Even if it was two separate planes, why would they make a fucking X?
Because back in the day, they didn't have. It was all natural. If you shot outside, and you looked at the skies, and the skies, even if there's clouds, they don't look like the clouds that are here, at least in Phoenix or in the desert. They're puffy, cumulus clouds or flat stratus clouds. They're not. It's not a haze of fucking. It's like the Animatrix.
Right.
Have you ever seen that? They actually turn the sky black, and it shows all these planes. It's very similar to that.
Well, you know what's funny? Okay, so I was just talking about earlier how I stopped seeing the frequency of the frequency of me seeing UFOs stopped. I mean, it came to a standstill.
Yeah.
But if you notice over the last decade or so, those clouds have become more present here.
Yeah.
Maybe that's why I'm not seeing as many.
It's
but also,
true.
I mean, because that area though too that we were all living in was like hardcore UFO fucking area. At least in my opinion, because I was seeing them all the time.
So many videos and
hardcore areola.
Areolas.
Nice. I got so many videos and pictures of just watching planes dump that shit into the sky, and 20-30 minutes later they're clouds.
Remind me to show you, and I'll put this up on. Even though it's chemtrail related, but you know what? Fuck it, we're gonna put it up on our page.
Yeah, fuck it.
I have a picture of a. I was watching this plane do a chemtrail, and actually, you know what? I think it was video too. Yeah. And I was showing Dee later on. No, it was photo. I was showing her later on. I was all, hey, so there was a plane doing, chemtrails across the sky. And I was watching it.
Impossible trails?
Yeah. And that's the second time Kim Possible popped up. Nice. So.
But every time I see her, I pop up.
We're going to make it a tree for her soon. So I took a picture, and when I looked at the picture, I was like, fuck, I can't see the plane. I could see the plane perfectly fine as I was taking the picture. When I go back and look at the actual picture, I don't see a plane at all. Zoomed in all the way in the fucking picture, nothing. It was just the contrail.
Yeah.
And that's it.
Yeah.
That's fucking weird. So remind me, I'll show you that picture. I'll put it up on our Facebook. People are like, why does he have this on here? But it'll make sense when they hear this episode. So
don't question our fucking our morals.
Speaking of
don't question our motivations, you fuckers.
Because these stories are going to get crazier here in a minute. But speaking of questioning us, you know what? I will take the challenge.
Yeah, question us.
If anybody wants to challenge these stories, that I at least believe that I've seen these, and that the people that witnessed them with me believe, I would even do a polygraph test on this shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A polygraph
on any of these
test?
fucking stories. That's kind of like my disclaimer for we're getting into fucking crazy town here in a minute.
See, like some people, they're like,
it was aliens. Well, no, I'm not going to say that.
I will take a polygraph and they'll pass because they're stupid.
Yeah.
But you're not stupid.
Yeah.
Or
I'm smart enough to cheat it.
I can convince myself of my own lies.
Well, then there you go. Yeah, and polygraph tests are kind of, yeah. Some people can beat them.
Yeah, you're smart.
I'm willing to do hypnosis, but even that's kind of, you can even,
But the point is that you're not lying about what you're seeing.
Yeah.
You're not like.
And ever since we started this podcast, I was like, I got to do an episode on these just because I got to get it out there. I got to be that crazy
Cross
one.
my heart and hope to die and drop some semen in my eye. I am telling the truth.
The crazy one in the group that's got to do all these stories.
Oh no, I thought I was getting abducted one time.
Shit.
But it was just a rape.
It was just a rape.
Was it a light?
I have more problem with like sleep paralysis.
Yeah, me too.
constantly, And like freaking my brain perceiving things.
As I was talking with Jeremy on another episode, though, every time I've had it, it wasn't after anything that I remember.
No.
So I just wrote it off as sleep paralysis. But it's freaky as fuck, dude.
It's so scary.
When you wake up and then you have that anxiety attack, you're like, I can't move.
I think not the last episode that you were doing with us, but the one before that, I had mentioned something about that we had talked about sleep paralysis.
Yeah.
And I was going to tell a funny joke.
Yeah, because he had the tub story.
I was going to tell a funny story about it, where I'm laying in bed and I wake up to a child crying, like
What?
not like a baby, but like a small, like a toddler or
Was
bigger.
it the baby mom?
No child in your
No, there was. I
in the
was
age
the
group of your
youngest
children.
child in the house.
Yeah.
And I was 14.
Oh wait, I thought you mean recently. Okay.
No.
So not with your kids.
No,
Okay.
like 20 years ago.
Oh shit.
And no, 30 years ago. No,
Because you would have been a
maybe
kid.
4.
Yeah.
So yeah. Anyway, a long time ago.
2 years ago.
Yeah. So the child is crying, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I wake up to it and can't move. But it was like
But you hear
fear
it.
paralysis.
Oh fuck.
Like
Like it spooked you so much you just kind of.
I couldn't move.
And that happens. That's a legit thing. Where
You know
you.
what it wound up being?
What's that?
A cat.
Oh, making the sounds.
Yeah.
Cats fucking outside is spooky, dude. When you wake up to that shit in the middle of the night. Yeah,
Like, at one point, the part that woke me up.
What the fuck is that?
this
And then you
cat,
realize.
it sounded like a child. Like
Wow.
Yeah.
exactly like a child crying, and I'm like,
Was it outside your
freaked
house
out.
then,
Yeah.
or okay? But it
was,
sounded like it was in your
right
house.
outside, and I saw like I could see because the street lamp. I saw like a shadow,
Yeah.
which turned out to be a bush. But it looked like it could have been a child crying in my yard. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? And I'm like,
The fuck?
I
My
couldn't
first
move.
sleep paralysis experience, I heard nothing.
Yeah.
I was 100% physical and mental and emotional, and it felt like I was speaking to something, and that I couldn't
fuck.
fucking move. And and the thing is like, it was more like, I ended up staring at a clock, my alarm clock, which was within arm's reach, and I remember thinking, only 4 more hours till that thing goes off, and hopefully it snaps me out of this thing.
Ugh.
Like, it was fucking crazy. And then I've never been the same since that.
Thinking about it, does it spook you out thinking about it still?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck yeah. Because I still, to this day, it's been so long and I still don't have a grasp on what the fuck was that.
I have a couple stories like
If I
that coming
stare at
up.
you like this intently enough, I can easily picture you wearing footy pajamas right now.
That's what, oh man.
That's where it
All
started.
came down to this moment and you telling me that. That's what it was telling me.
So I have another another short daytime one.
I have, I'm sorry, I
go
have killer rabbit slippers that I was wearing before you even came to pick me up today.
Awesome.
And I was wearing pajama pants.
There you go.
So I have another short daytime one.
Post-cognitive dreaming.
I'm not.
True story.
Yeah. So I was driving my grandmother. Okay.
You.
And this was during. I like that. It was during the daytime. I'm driving with my grandmother. And I just had this feeling, and this is how it always is. You have that feeling to look up or look this way, and that's when you see the shit. I got that feeling again. I look in the rearview mirror, and I see another fucking silver disc in the fucking, and it's not, it was clear as fucking daylight. It wasn't attached to anything. It was, boom, it was there. I'm like, fuck. So I'm turning around, I'm looking in the other mirror. I should have just kept looking in that mirror and just fucking pulled over and stopped and got out. That would have been the smartest thing to do. But no, I'm sitting there trying to drive around the neighborhood and keep looking for this thing. Obviously gone. But it was like, it was one of those things where...
And it knocks on your window and it's
I'm getting chills right now.
Have you seen this boy?
And I'm getting chills right now thinking about it because this one was a little spookier because it was like I had the feeling to look in the rearview mirror of all things, and that's where I saw it. But then it was fucking gone and shit. My grandmother's thinking I'm crazy because I'm sitting there trying to drive around the neighborhood fucking looking for this thing and shit. So instead of going home, I'm like fucking driving all over fucking looking for it. So that was that story. Another short one. Now we're
Said fucking a lot.
Now we're getting in. This is kind of an interesting one from nighttime. All right.
Ooh.
Once again,
Nocturnal emissions.
yeah, another metallic disc. Okay.
Yes.
I say it's metallic because and it's not lit up. Which Nate's story kind of reminded me about this because his didn't have any lights on. I'm assuming whatever this was, if it was a craft, it probably had lights, but it was going incognito, man. So same thing. I always get this fucking feeling.
Yeah.
Hey, go out there and look up. And I was like on my patio because I used to go out there and listen to the fucking headphones, listen to music or write lyrics to music that I had recorded or whatever, you know, whatever reason it was that night. I don't know, but that's usually the case. So I had this feeling to get up and go to the edge of the patio and look up, like go out from underneath the patio and look up. And as soon as I do, I see this thing just kind of flying. Kind of like about this steady fucking motion, like this is coming towards me. And I'm looking at it, I'm like, what the fuck is that? And I can't tell if this thing is small and close to the ground or big and high up because it had no lights on it, you know? But I could tell it was metallic because it looked reflective.
Yeah.
Okay? But
It's hard because there's never any contrast.
yeah, this one was even, I don't know why this one was even harder for me because I had this fucking weird feeling that it was really close. But at the same time, it looked like it would be big. So I was like, I don't know. So, but the more I looked at it, I was like, you know what? It could just be a fucking balloon. You know, I was like, because this is how I always am. I'm always trying to find something for it.
A rational explanation.
Yeah, exactly. And because your brain wants that, especially when you're by yourself and you're seeing this. You're like, okay, that's a kite. This is this.
We under attack.
Right?
We're under attack.
So this thing was steadily going. And there's no wind. Again, I observed that there was no wind. So it was weird because it wasn't ascending. Balloons, even if they go across the sky, you see some ascending. Now, granted, it could have been a balloon that maybe lost some helium, lost some of its steam, so it was just kind of staying steady pace. That would be the only explanation for this thing. Yeah. But anyways, this thing started coming, and I, like I said, I had that feeling to go look.
But then you got your umbrella because it started coming.
Yeah, it started coming. So this thing was like coming towards my house, and just kept going over the house and down to the neighborhood until I couldn't see it anymore. And at no point...
You were right underneath it when it passed?
Yes!
Damn.
So, yeah, I'm getting chills thinking about it.
It looked the same shape.
Looked the same shape, but it got smaller, obviously, as it got away from me, away from my house. But it looked like it maintained the same height. Yeah. And just kept going, and I'm pantomiming the speed of this thing. It was just very steady, not too fast, and just was kind of like just cruising along.
It's going about 10 knots.
Maybe a car. If it was a car on the street going through the neighborhood, maybe it was going a little fast to the neighborhood. Maybe doing like 30 through the neighborhood, just kind of, just kind of go trucking over the house.
Being a rapist creep.
Yeah.
So did it change? My question is.
Yeah, question me on this because I feel like I'm just spewing out a bunch of short stories. Let's talk.
Did it change shape?
No.
As it was. No. Okay. Well, that's actually kind of strange, which means it would have been a sphere.
Yes,
because
it was almost a perfect sphere because it wasn't doing the balloon thing where it kind of bobbles
if it was
and goes higher.
Disc, right? If it was a flat disc, it would change shape as it's going
into
over
like
top
a cigar shape.
Yes,
right.
Because when seeing it coming, because by the time I saw it, it was already like a circle. So that should give us kind of an idea. And thanks for bringing that up, because that kind of gives me an idea. By the time I went out to the edge of the porch or the patio and looked at this thing, it had to have been pretty close, because I already saw like a disc, or a sphere.
And spherical.
Yeah. And there's no real good structure to it. It's just a little fucking circle, just like a lot of these other ones I've seen, except for the potential TR3B, the black triangle that you'll see on the pictures.
Yeah.
And then the V. Every other one has been some kind of circle. Yeah. So this thing just trucks over the house, keeps going through the neighborhood, never ascends, just maintains the same speed.
Being held in place with baby tears and angel cum.
Yep, and angel cum. And that's that story. Okay, this one.
It's got 2 or 3 angels in it, like running on a hamster wheel that powers it.
It sounds like a squeaky bed during like terrible sex. Terrible sex with squeaky terrible bed. Sweaty sex on a squeaky cum stained mattress. Yeah. I'm trying to just paint an ugly, nasty picture.
I think you're judging and shaming me.
No, I'm shaming the angels on this fucking UFO. If that's what you prefer, right?
If they're really angels or demons, they would know that if they flew over you, you would judge them. And they would know...
We better shape up and look like a UFO, because that's what this kid is into.
They would know that the person you are would think a certain way, and you had no control over that because there is no choice.
Sticking with a nighttime sighting. Now, this one I didn't see UFO in. Okay? But it screams UFO.
He saw boobs.
Right. So I had this friend named James that I went to elementary school, junior high.
You should leave out his last name.
His last name, James. Boop. So James. Boop. We'll just beep it out that way. Obviously, we're joking about the previous episode, a couple back. So this kid James and I, and it's really a sad story, because I'll jump ahead on him. Years later, he got in a bad accident and became a paraplegic. And his dad worked at Bill Luke, not too far from here. And his fucking girlfriend left him over all this shit, and it was really fucked up. She was the one driving. It was her fault.
Paraplegic?
Paraplegic, yeah.
I thought he was quadriplegic, so it's half as bad as I thought it was.
Yeah.
But twice as bad as a single plegic.
But the good thing about this, and I'm getting to the good part about it at least, I mean, the silver lining here, he was able to still drive. And his dad worked at Bill Luke, so they worked it out to where they can get fucking, I think from the settlement and all that, they were able to in his truck, have it to where he could drive with his hands and shit, which is cool. Because, and I bring that up because he what we experienced, I almost completely forgot about it. And then several years, which I'll get to that too. The experience we had was very trippy. It was almost like it was like suppressed and done, and we didn't really talk about it. Several years later, he came over to visit my friend Toby and I. He was the guy that used to live across the street from the old house. And we're sitting there, and we had to help him out of it. It was sad, dude. Wherever he went, he had to have somebody there, like, to meet him and help him out of the truck and all that. And we're like, fuck, man, this is the guy that we used to go hanging out with, picking up on girls and shit, driving around his truck. And I feel like a shitty friend, because both Toby and I lost contact with this guy. And I looked him up recently because I remembered this story again, because since we started the podcast, and I thought about reaching out to him. He is on Facebook. And who knows, maybe by the time this episode comes out, I will reach out to him. But it looks like he doesn't talk to anybody on Facebook. He has a Facebook, very minimal. Doesn't really seem like he has many friends on there. I might hit him up, though.
He might be super happy, dude. He could surprise
Who knows?
I don't know.
Exactly. Maybe he's like, fuck Facebook. I ain't got time for that shit.
Yeah.
So, but anyway, so this...
Bitches to fuck.
So back in the day, we used to sneak out on the weekends like most kids do and shit. And we were like in our early to mid-teens. And we would sneak out. I would wait in front of my house. He'd come over, and then a bunch of other friends would meet up with us. And that was like the plan. And we would go off, and a lot of times we'd steal cars. We're assholes. We grew up in Maryville. So well, me personally, I didn't steal them, but we drove around in a lot of stolen cars from some of our other friends. So
you just along for the for the river.
Oh man, I have a whole story I could tell you guys about later where there was cop dogs and all that involved and shit and all that. Yeah, and like, hey, do you speak English and all this? Like, yeah, I speak English, motherfucker. Anyways, long story. Didn't get much trouble for that because I wasn't the one that stole the car. Anyways, so we were waiting for that group of friends that would steal cars and shit, and we were waiting for them to come over, and it just seemed like it was getting later and later, and they're like, where the fuck are they? And we didn't have cell phones at this time. This was the mid-90s, mid-90s or so. And we're just sitting there. And I remember we were on and this is where it gets fuzzy, because we were on the driveway. Kind of like how we used to hang out in the driveway when we record and shit.
Yeah.
And we're used to helicopters. It was Maryville. Mm-hmm. We didn't hear a helicopter, but boom, fucking light. Fucking, we were lit up in light, the whole fucking driveway.
Huh.
And
did you hear anything?
We didn't hear anything. And this is where it gets fuzzy, because for me, my experience of it was, boom, light. And we're like, what the fuck? And we immediately, next thing I know, I was in the middle of the road. Like, I mean, obviously I had to, in my mind, I was like, we staggered out to the road to kind of, I don't know if that made us help
out of the spotlight.
to get out of it and to look up and see what was shining us. And we're like, dude, I didn't hear I don't hear a helicopter. I don't see anything. What the fuck was that? And I'm thinking, what if it was like, meteorites? I've seen meteorites and stuff where they actually kind of light up pretty well.
Oh, yeah, and they disappear.
But I was like, no, because this was like a fucking helicopter beaming us. Like hardcore beaming us and shit. Mm-hmm. And I remember we're like, our friends still weren't there, and both of us kind of like, almost like robots. James and I were like, we looked at each other, we're like, we should go home. Yeah, let's go home, go to bed. Nothing. Next day we get together, and he had already told Toby about it. But it was weird. We had a very nonchalant attitude about it at the time. We're like, yeah, that was weird. Yeah. Oh well. And we just kind of like
almost like if anything really did happen, one way or another.
Maybe that was you from the future coming back to tell your past self not to get into that stolen car.
Right. Go home and go to bed before they come. So,
or if it was aliens, they went, you will nonchalantly go home and go to bed.
Yes,
These are
you
not
will go
the
home.
droids you have been.
You do not see us telling you to go home, go to bed. You're just repeating. I was like, but it was weird. Because when I look back on it, I was like, that was weird. That's not like us to be like, nah, fuck it. Let's go home, go to bed. He left. I didn't even care about, we just got beamed by a fucking light. And I'm like, I didn't even care that my friend was walking home like several blocks away. I was just like, I had the instinct of, oh, well, they're not coming. We should go home, go to bed. I walked in, he walked home. So the next day he tells my friend Toby about it. And now his version of the story is he swears we lost time. He's like, yeah, we lost time. Like at the time he was still kind of like whatever about it, but he's like, but he had mentioned that he felt like we lost time. So jumping ahead a few years after we had lost contact.
Explain why you ended up in the road.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So and I have more stories about lost time, which is really fucking weird. It all has to tie.
Speaking
together.
of lost time, that's it for this show tonight.
I know, right? We've gone well over an hour. I'm gonna have to cut some stuff out. Yeah. So some of the funnier moments, since this episode's a little on the serious side, will probably be like Patreon stuff. Pay for our shit. Keep us going. So anyways, a few years had passed, and we had heard that he got in this bad accident. Word got around with people that we went to high school with and all that. This is post high school at this point, and he came to visit and shit. And Toby and I helped him out of the car, and we're sitting there just talking. It's late at night, and we're just talking about all kinds of good times. And then he had to fucking bring that up. I had completely forgotten about it until he brought it up.
You suppressed it, or it had been suppressed.
Yeah, I'm getting chills thinking about it now because it was so creepy. Because he just kind of remember that time we got hit with that light. That fucking UFO. Something like, I'm paraphrasing, but it was something along those lines. Like, and we lost time, and I'm like, what the fuck? I was like, dude, I forgot about that. Yeah. And then Toby was like, yeah, I remember you telling me about that, blah, 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 and all that. So we hashed it out a little more. And we didn't remember much more, but his version of the story was, he was convinced it was like a UFO or something, and that we lost time.
I had to. You were cool enough to like
entertain the thought instead of going, no, nothing happened. You know, there's people.
Well, at the time we kind of had that attitude though. It was weird.
That's what happens when multiple people experience a traumatic.
They have different experience. We've talked about that too, like where to some people, I think it was with Nate, where to some people it could have been like a blip. Yeah, it was with Nate. Like somebody could have a real ghostly experience, and somebody else can experience it too. But like, it was like fart in the wind.
Yeah,
you know. Yeah. We were pretty much on the same page with what happened, which we didn't remember a whole lot. But he was convinced that we lost time.
Yeah, you just handled it differently.
I just kind of felt like, okay, yeah, I think somehow I was walking out in the street looking around for whatever hit us with this light. So I'm going to hit him up because if we can get him on the show, that'd be awesome. Just see what he thinks about it to this day. And honestly, with a lot of the shit that's happening.
Side of the Ufopalooza?
Yes, exactly. This is the Oofopalooza, if we haven't told you. Spilling all the UFO stories tonight. So, I mean, with all the things that have happened, and some more that I'll tell you here in a minute, I've always been a chicken shit about going in and doing like a regression or hypnosis.
You don't know what some stranger's gonna fucking.
What if they put shit? Because my whole theory is, what if they put shit in your head? Or if you're already going in thinking, I've been fucking abducted. I've been abducted. You may make yourself believe you were abducted under hypnosis. So I'm kind of wary about that. Yeah. But it would be really interesting to find out if he did.
Right.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, shit. He seemed more convinced that we lost time. Yeah. And people that...
True. It could be even worse than anything you ever imagined.
Oh, yeah.
What if he set up something? He put acid...
Why are you covering your mouth?
He put... Oh, no, that's just me holding my head up.
That's him in thought.
Hold your head up. Move it on.
Instead of just in thought scratching the goatee, he's scratching the mustache at the same time. It's the double scratch.
Exactly. What if he set something up and put like...
He drugged me and shit.
In your drink and told you, and
I had no drink.
See what I'm saying? Oh, well. But I'm just saying.
That's what I remember.
Yeah. It's just a thought. I'm not saying I think that happened.
He put Rohypnol in you.
He hears this. He's all, that's what happened.
He put Rohypnol in your gum.
Right. He's all, hey, what's that on your gum?
Here.
But I'm going to hit him up. What do you guys think?
Yeah.
Yeah, do it.
We'll put him on the show. So, okay, now this one ties in Brian Tyson.
Ooh.
But much later, and in a non-related but related way.
Scary.
This is fucking weird. All right. So, let's see here. The bike ride home is what I called this one. Right? This is one of the earliest. Now, I don't know if this was a UFO, but because of that black thing that I saw in the sky, the what I consider maybe a TR-3B. It made me think hardcore about something that happened when I was around maybe 7 or 8 years old. I knew these brothers, right? They had older siblings too, but there was 3 brothers that I would hang out with, and their names were Zach, Luke, and Noah. And I'll say their last name.
You gotta bleep out their last name.
I will say their last name because I want to look for them. I'm sure that these guys would be, if they were anything like we were as kids, they're probably way fucking different now. I mean, we were into Ninja Turtles and X-Men and shit back then, but I went to kindergarten, first grade, second grade with the boy Zach, who was my age, and then his younger brothers. We would all hang out all the time. And these were good kids. They were from I'm saying they're good because they were from a religious family, but they were from a really hardcore religious family.
Boys.
Good old boys.
Christian boys.
I mean, it was the point where like Ninja Turtles were brand fucking new, the toys, and I didn't have one yet. And they're like, "Hey, do you want my Donatello?" I was like, "Fuck yeah!" And that's what started.
Shit, they just gave you.
Yeah, they just hey, have Donatello. I mean, he was like kind of like
one.
He was kind of he was in hindsight, I think he's the best one because he was the smart one, all that. But when I was a kid, I was like, yeah, fucking Leonardo, Michelangelo. I would love Raphael. I appreciated Raphael and Donatello as I got older.
Yeah.
And when I was a kid, it was Michelangelo because he was goofy and Leo because he was the leader.
Because Donatello has always been my favorite ninja.
Nice.
Even when I was a kid.
But he was the first turtle I got, and then I collected tons of them over the years.
Raph would charge head on into a fight, knowing he couldn't run, and he was gonna get his ass kicked.
Didn't care.
And didn't give a fuck. Like, what else, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just like coward.
He was a badass. I just liked his sarcasm.
Yeah.
Even the cartoon did a decent job at kind of like portraying, that he was. Yeah. It's been years since I've seen it, but I remember that attitude he had, Totally. The Joker kind of guy.
The reason he got his ass kicked most of the time was because he was by himself.
Yeah. So, anyway, so I would hang out with these kids all the time.
Raph. Yeah.
And I'll get back to
Raph.
I'll get back to their story here in a moment, but I was riding my bike home one time from their house, and I got that weird fucking feeling again, dude.
I got a feeling.
Yep. That fucking, you know, that awful feeling, like that anxiety, that panicky feeling for seemingly no fucking reason.
Yep, it's like a wave of dread.
Yeah. So I'm on my bike. I'm this little kid. It was middle of the day,
That's
dude.
what keeps me from falling asleep sometimes.
Fuck, I know.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't calm yourself.
Yep.
Dude, so, and I'm honestly...
That's what keeps me having sex with the Overlord.
I'm honestly wondering if some of our anxiety disorder may be coming from some of the shit that we experienced as kids.
Yeah.
Because this was a feeling that's probably one of the earliest panic attacks I remember having, was this experience. So I was driving around the corner on my bike. It was middle of the fucking day, but nobody was around. Cause I think it was like summer vacation or some shit like that. Nobody was around, middle of the day. And I get that dread feeling. And I was like, fuck. It was that feeling, even though this was one of the earliest times I remember this, but that whole feeling, the look up. And it was fuzzy, just like the fucking beginning beam with a light thing. When I looked up, it was almost like, my childhood mind, a state of mind, to me it was like a hole in the sky. It was just so black, it was just a fucking hole in the sky, and that's all I remember. And I swear, guys, I don't remember how I got home. It's just, I remember, and it creeps me out thinking about it now. But it was like, I described it as a little kid as like a hole in the sky, black hole, son.
Adam is an alien.
That might be true.
You know what's funny about that? I don't even talk about aliens with a lot of people, or UFOs, but yet spread out over several people. And I'm not saying I am, but it's funny that you should say that, because people, non-related people that I know, have joked around and said,
"That's too little."
Have said, "Oh, you're an alien." You know, I've had that fucking comment. I've had that comment hurled at me from my fucking boss recently.
Yeah,
and he doesn't know I'm into all this shit.
What if I have a theory?
Yeah.
What if
future you came back
no,
and erased a memory that was terribly traumatic for you?
Not Adam and I are just characters in your movie that you've created, and that you're in sort of a...
That'd be some fucked up shit right now.
Sort of a... yeah, I know, but I know I'm getting crazy with it. But
and you got that one scene where you guys saw and not really saw the white UFOs with me.
Have you ever seen What Dreams May Come?
Yeah.
Okay, this is your...
What if I'm in some kind of weird purgatory right now?
Sort of purgatory afterlife, and these aliens are real us trying to pluck you from...
And you don't know this right now?
No, I wouldn't, because I'm just a character in your movie.
That'd be fucked up.
I'm part of you that you're projecting, right? And you're getting...
Like, I even have that anxiety now.
Well, have you ever...
It's like, I don't know if you noticed that. I'm getting kind of...
That's why I'm telling like a joke. I'm joking, even though the story I just told is fucking epic. I can't believe...
Let's write this shit. Everybody that's hearing this right now, we've already fucking copyrighted it.
Yeah.
It's in the bank, bitches.
Have you ever heard that every face you see in your dream is an actual person you've already seen in real life?
Really?
That your brain can't create a human face?
That makes sense.
Really?
It makes perfect
It can't make amalgamations?
Maybe, but
that would
it's
be all
likely
blurry.
Bits and pieces from faces that you've already seen.
Yeah.
You can't read in a dream. You can see a...
You know what? I can dispute that, because I feel like I can. Either that or I'm thinking I am.
You can see a sign and
assume it.
Know what it says.
Especially if you go into a lucid state, you can realize, I'm not really reading this, but I'm assuming what this is.
Exactly. But as far as next time you're dreaming and you know you're dreaming, or, really try to visually read what's on a sign, and you can't fucking do it for some reason. I can't, and I've heard from a lot of people they can't do it either.
Wow.
I
have to think about. It's hard to think about those things when you're in a dream, unless you can get to that lucid state.
But just like you meet someone in a dream, and
like the uncanny valley face woman. Oh fuck, that one fucked me up, man.
You've been dreaming for what you think is 5 seconds, but you know this whole backstory of the person that,
like your blue lady who became fucking Avatar.
Yeah. That's what it's like when you probably look at those signs. You're like, that says McDonald's or whatever. Or
I have dreams like that too, where you kind of like know everything that's going on with this individual, but that's where I can sometimes turn those into lucid dreams. and actually embellish on the story.
The stories like might be so far fetched that you can.
I make them
out
more
that-
far fetched.
Nice.
He's thrown it so far you can't fetch it.
Exactly.
So, anyways, more to that. So, in my childhood, I was freaked out. I didn't even fucking, as far as I can remember, I didn't tell anybody, dude.
I'm just picturing a 7-year-old you, but with the same goatee.
Yeah, I know, right? Just like whenever you see those like stupid plays or flashback scenes, and it's the adult version playing the kid version of themselves. Yeah, it's like, or my head on a little kid. But anyways, so looking back on it now this is me just adding to it. I've always wondered, well, was that just another was it a black UFO? Maybe it was just so dark that's how my mind interpreted it. But it was that's the only way I could describe it when I was a kid to myself it was like looking at a fucking hole.
Their chameleon circuit was broken.
There you go. I just looked up and boom, I saw that and it freaked me the fuck out. And I don't know if I was just flooded with adrenaline and anxiety that I just pedaled the rest of the way home in a state of fucking shock, and that's why I don't remember, or if I legitimately lost time. And I revisited that when my friend James was talking about losing time, and then another event where I lost time, which I'll bring up here in a moment. This one was really fucking weird. But more on these Sellers brothers.
He just called you a moron.
I called you a Mormon.
I think he's talking.
Moron.
You take that back.
So anyway, so the Sellers brothers. And I'm gonna play a message from Brian Tyson, who
Another Brian.
who obviously can't
Brianception.
who can't be from this episode.
Does
Be
he
here for
spell
this
his name
episode.
with an I or a Y?
Teisen. We'll say his name. We won't beep it out.
No, it's
Brian.
BR.
Boop. So anyways, so this family that I was talking about, the family that left their house.
The Luchaduchis?
Coincidentally, the Sellers brothers, and I'll say
Yeah.
their name because I'm looking for them. I can't find them on any social media. So when I
It's like one of those missed connections and the...
oh man, put it on Craigslist. And
Yeah.
it's not what you think, but I'm looking for these 3 guys. But anyways, so I knew them from about kindergarten through 2nd grade, and I was pretty sad about it. It sucked because these were cool kids to hang out with. They moved away to Cottonwood, and that's the last I knew of them. They came down and visited once. The kid that was my age, Zach. He was in basketball, and he was down in town playing basketball for something. Shortly after they had left, and then that was it. I never heard from them again. Never saw them again. And they were cool kids to hang out with, but their family was uber religious, and I thought they were trying to spook me out one time. They're all, did you know, everywhere we moved, because they moved around a lot.
You were telling me about this. Yeah, I remember this.
So there was this.
No spoilers, Brian.
So
No.
they were convinced that they were haunted by a ghost named Shaklajawan. And to this day, I fucking remember this
remember
stupid fucking
Shaklajawan.
name.
It's like that basketball player from the Houston Rockets from the 90s, Hakeem Shaklajuan.
It's a stupid fucking name, but I remember it to this day, Shaklajawan. And I was like, okay, these kids, they're fucking with me, man. They're fucking with me. They're just trying to spook me out. But their mother was super religious and stuff. And
Were they Mormon? Because that could actually be a name in the Mormon Bible.
Yeah, let's look it up. I don't remember because I was a little kid, so I didn't know what religion they were. But I'm assuming Mormon because there was the 3 of them. Zach, Luke,
They
and
only
Noah.
drank Ovaltine.
Right? They had an older brother who was handicapped. Who was very special needs.
He was
man. It was
handy-capable.
hardcore special needs, and I believe they had one or two more brothers that were older and stuff. But I barely ever saw them. They were quite a bit older than us and shit.
Yeah.
But I remember hanging out with Zach, Luke, and Noah all the time. We would play like we were the fucking X-Men and Ninja Turtles and play with these toys and shit all the time. Anyways, so super religious. Were convinced that they were haunted by this ghost named Shaklajawan. The mom. Because I was thinking they were bullshit. Yeah, phenomenon. It's connected to this. So the mom even fucking tells me with this blank fucking sad face, man. I'm looking at this fucking mother tell me, yep, we're haunted by this ghost. Shaklajawan, blah, blah, blah. I'm paraphrasing because I can't remember what she said for word, but it was something along those lines. I'm like, fuck.
I can imagine
Fuck.
7-year-old you with
Not
that
saying
goatee
fuck, but
saying fuck.
Fuck, man.
Yeah.
I like hanging out here. I don't want to be spooked out, but to tell you, I never experienced any ghosts there. I never experienced any of the hauntings, but this family was seriously convinced that they were haunted by this
Maybe it
ghost.
could be an alien following them around.
Who knows? Maybe it was connected to what I fucking saw. Maybe that's why I saw that thing leaving their fucking house. That's a good point, dude. They were convinced it was a ghost, but then again, they were religious.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, a lot of people think that sleep paralysis, they've been abducted by aliens.
So, yeah, right? So check this out.
Or scared by cats.
Right.
It's true.
So years later, so years later, they had moved away to Cottonwood. Years later, I meet Brian Tyson, and we would talk about paranormal
Tiffany
stuff.
Brian Tyson?
Yes, there you go. You know we love you, buddy. We like making fun of you all the time, though. So we would talk about paranormal stuff because he would experience a ton of shit, as we talked about before. And by fucking chance, we both bring these guys up, and we're like, were they this, and this? It's like Zach, Luke, and Noah. Yeah, he played basketball. And I was like, fuck. So at some point, they moved back from Cottonwood down the street from Brian Tyson. And they were friends with him through like the later elementary years and in junior high. Came back, we never reconnected, but they were friends with Brian Tyson before I was friends with Brian Tyson. By fucking chance.
That's crazy.
awesome.
We come to realize we knew the same family. And I'm like,
had an experience
dude,
with that,
did you realize that? Because the reason I started to bring him up was because of that ghost. And I was like, but I never experienced anything. And then he tells me his story. So you guys might want to gather around for this one. I don't know if you'll hear this very well. But I had Brian record a message and send it to me so he could tell his story. So yeah, this is what happened with Brian Tyson going to the Sellers brothers' house.
All right, so I was friends with the Sellers brothers, Zach in particular. And when I was young, we had a friend over for the night, and we got up in the middle of the night or whatever, and we went roaming around the neighborhood and shit at night. And we decided to go to the Sellers house. So I walked up to her driveway, went over to the window, and I was trying to look at the thing, and the curtains moved, and it was like a little face or something that said boo. Like it was like a face, but not a face, so that you could see through it almost. And it just said boo. It scared the shit out of me and my friends, and we took off, went home.
So yeah.
Dang.
Fucking crazy, right?
Yeah, he didn't-
So he experienced potentially this Shklajuan.
Yeah.
And me leaving their fucking house, whether it was related or not, because my shit was completely different from being a ghost. It was like potentially UFO shit.
Boo, and he said he could see through it.
Fucking see through the face, and it spooked him out like bad.
Oh, bet it did, goddamn.
It's like all this shit's
Did
coming.
I tell this story on here when I was, so my sister had this friend who was fucking stupid. And so my sister's
We
like,
all had that fucking stupid friend.
my sister's 5 years older than me about.
My dog is so stupid.
She had a friend named
Oh, I can't
Ryan.
hear you. Brian Clear has traveled far from the mic.
And
I've been abducted.
yeah.
he was fucking with her. Like he came over in the middle of the night and was like knocking on her window and shit. And so she came out to where me and my brother were in the living room. And I storm into her room all pissed off, like I'm about to hurt somebody.
Yeah.
And flip on her light and pull up her blinds and fall off of the bed backwards because there's this thing, just angry looking
Fuck.
thing staring right at my face. And halfway from the bed to the ground, I start laughing because I realized it was my own reflection.
Really?
Yeah, that's a true story.
That sucks, dude.
But did it say boo?
It didn't say.
It said, "Blah."
Poor Brian. You're going to your friend's house to kind of snoop around and see if your friend will come sneak out with you, and then, hey, motherfucker, boo.
Bitch.
Hey, bitch, shake the spot.
Ooh,
This is my family to fuck with, man. Come on. So, I never experienced Shklajuan, but Brian may potentially have. What the fuck?
That's crazy.
So, one more potentially losing time story, and this is just fucking okay. So the sleeping medium girl that we won't name, but the girl that we talked about on a previous episode with the Bryans, the girl that used to come over while we were recording.
Yeah, Fancy
she'd come
Nancy.
over after work,
I'm gonna say fancy Nancy.
and I'll briefly retell the story. She would pass out after work on the couch in the studio room, and she would tell, I mean, she'd hear us talking about paranormal, so I would assume that
she was on heroin.
she was just fucking, yeah, right, narcolepsy. So she would pass out all the time, and then she'd wake up and say, I seen this spirit, and they're just hanging out listening to you guys do the music. I'm like, fucking bullshit. Well, I'm like, we entertained it. We were like, whatever. And what
Sort of like John Edwards.
Right.
I'm getting a
right. But check this out.
Sarah,
So
over here
she
somewhere.
experienced like multiple.
I have a father.
like, But she never made a big deal of it. She was just like, they're just hanging out here listening to you guys. We're like, yeah, whatever. To a degree. We're like, oh yeah, that's cool, whatever. So anyways, and I tell the story on a previous episode. She gave me a ride home, and she started, and this is when I started to believe her, is when she told me, she started describing this guy. She's all, hey, and she started describing this guy like this teenager and how he looked and all that. And he was bouncing from my house to another house, to another house, to another house on the street, like kept popping up everywhere. And this is from what she's saying. And she usually did this shit when she would sleep, but she was doing this wide awake, dropping me off. And she basically described this kid that I went to school with that killed himself. And I was like, fuck.
That's hardcore.
Yeah. And all the houses that she went to was like Toby's house and several other people's house on the street that were mutual friends.
Yeah.
I was like, fuck. Okay, so she's legit. So the reason I bring her back up. So she was house sitting.
I thought you were going to say housebroken.
Yeah, housebroken. She didn't pee in the house. She didn't pee on the couch when she'd pass out. But anyway, so
Don't make fun of me.
She wanted me to go hang out with this older couple because they wanted to meet me if I was going to be hanging out at this house while she was house sitting. And of course, they were people that were a little more eccentric with their crazy beliefs, So this couple was all in astrology, and she's like, because I was hardcore into astrology, because there was a time that I was like, astrology is bullshit, because I thought horoscopes were fucking bullshit, which I think they are.
They are.
They fucking are. But instead of being more of the scientific mind, I was like, I'm not going to write it off. I'm going to fucking study it.
Totally. I've read.
And the more I studied astrology, I started to believe aspects of it. But I don't believe it's constellations and all that. I think it's maybe quadrants of the sky or certain energies and stuff, or time, having to do with seasons or whatever. But
I'm a Taurus, and I've read Scorpio's horoscopes. And I'm like, that's so fucking me right there. What it's describing.
I know, it's too vague.
Yeah.
Well, as a kid, I was like, this shit's fucking bullshit. It's too vague. But I'm not going to write it off until I study it. So I became, I got really into astrology and stuff. And I started believing certain parts of it. Certain parts of it made sense. The more I got into it, I was like, yeah, there are some undeniable things about it. Anyways, we could do an episode on that at some point even. So, sleeping medium chick. That's what we'll call her, the sleeping medium. Not so sleeping medium when she saw my friend Ryan.
Sleeping medium at large.
Yeah, that one fucked me up. I was like, fuck. Anyways, so she was house sitting for this older couple, and she's like, you'll like them. They're into astrology. That's how she reeled me in. And they talk about this and that and UFOs
You like
and
them. They're into butt stuff.
Yeah, and they were an older couple. It was really weird because they were like 10 years apart from each other. Like one was 60, the woman was like 60, and he was like around in his early 50s or something like that.
She was a cougar.
Yes.
Some say she's robbing the cradle, but I say she's robbing the grave.
She's robbing the early dust.
He's robbing the grave. God, my Futurama quotes are.
So check this out. So they wanted to meet me because they knew I was going to be hanging out with her there and shit, So, and I didn't stay that often out there. It was like honestly, it'll probably come back to me later, but it was way out northwest, beyond fucking Sun City and all that shit. And beyond the mountain out there and shit. So anyways, I go out there and I meet them. They seem really fucking cool. She's got a hobby. She takes all those fucking pewter statues and fucking paints them and shit.
I thought you were gonna say pubes.
Pubes. Yeah.
I thought you were going to say Peter Schmidt.
And she was I have this dragon. I think it's
They used to call me in high school.
I don't know if it's over there or not. I think I have it in a box, but there was this dragon. It was really fucking cool. I was like, hey, that's cool. She's like, hey, take it. I was like, all right, these people are fucking cool.
Nice.
But then they started talking about how they go to these meetups. And I'm like, oh, fuck.
Where do they?
This is where the butt stuff comes in.
Have you ever heard about that? Oh, yeah, go ahead.
Do they swing dead chickens over their head? And
No.
put bones in their noses and shit?
Aliens. So check this out. Have you ever heard how people get together and they'll listen to a person talk who's supposedly a medium, a channeler,
Yeah.
but they're channeling, their whole belief is we're channeling aliens. And I'm like, at the time I was like, fucking bullshit.
I want to know.
But I was like, but who knows? But who knows?
It's really more realistic
Than ghosts.
I think, than trying to channel spirits or ghosts
Yeah.
or demons or fucking. I mean, because there would be physical entities,
Yes.
right? Like, yeah,
Yeah.
So,
I was thinking,
Theoretically, far superior technology than what we
Totally.
would have.
yeah.
So,
We will go into this woman hard and talk to the stupid people. I think that's
Now
a
they're
good
like,
idea.
I wonder what happened to that man whose voice we loved so much.
I don't know that
The
one.
universe was really cool until I realized that nothing happened that meant anything, and now I am dead.
It is a far better place where I am now. I would be like, what the fuck? Anyways, so, or what if he pre-recorded something as a joke?
This is what I'm
they rolled the fucking, they rolled the chair into the
Amber
funeral.
won't let me do this, but I really want to.
What's that?
I want to get an urn, right?
Yes.
That is motion activated.
Yes, and it
when
talks.
Yes, but I'm going to pre-record me saying stuff before I die, and then make that my urn.
That's basically what I was getting to. What
That'd be great.
if he had a sense of humor enough to do that with his chair?
So
and at his funeral, I am still here.
It's funny you guys brought this up. Okay, so I had
There's life after death.
It's not
after
that
all.
funny. This is entirely scripted.
I know. No, it isn't.
Fuck no.
What? Okay, so check this out. I had
Good line read.
Silence!
Yeah.
I had funeral plans a long time ago, and I told a select few, okay? And what I wanted to do was have pins put in all my joints so that I could be moved around like a marionette.
Nice.
And,
I got no strings to hold me
Totally.
down, to make me laugh,
but here's the
make
thing,
me
right?
proud.
It would take the funeral would take place in a hardcore like Catholic church, and it while they're giving the sermon or whatever, the priest. So everything's very serious and everyone's very somber and serious. Okay, I can't believe I'm telling what I want at my funeral in this thing. So in the background, it would be very faint to where you couldn't tell if it was coming from outside, and it would just get louder and louder and louder and louder and crescendo, and it'd be like.
And make you dance.
Yeah,
Yes!
and freaking zombies would come out of the confessional booths, and like a bunch of people in the audience would like, psh, and be like, it'd be a fucking flash mob, thriller flash mob at my
And then it'd
funeral.
get you dancing.
Yeah, exactly.
That's
and have me
awesome.
like pop locking and doing
That's fucking awesome.
But really what would happen is,
You fall apart.
I would just fall apart.
They start pop locking it too hard, and all of a sudden your hand goes. They're like, oh, that fucker's gonna go. Woo!
Your leg flips up and kicks you in your own eye.
Hey, did the glove just? Did the Michael glove just fly off? No, the whole hand went.
Shit just falls out of my hands.
The sutures come apart.
Yeah, totally. My eyes just like.
No, because you've been dead for so long,
Yeah.
your eyes have already turned into mush,
Oh,
and they
God.
just start leaking out.
And then the laugh.
Oh,
and then
fuck.
when I fall apart, it's like, rah!
Would it be like a stigmata, but through the eyes, it's like.
You guys are fucked up. Both of you are.
I want to be there. I'll help. I will help, dude.
Really?
You said you have the instructions sent. I will fucking help
Okay,
with that.
cool.
I think that was just an admittance on your
That I think I'm gonna live longer.
that you're taking part
Well,
in his
yeah.
murder.
I mean, everyone knows I'm cursed. My very first, my,
Star Killer said you're dying.
yeah, that's true. My very first funeral thing was me and my friends were sitting. This is the only one I ever had. Besides that one, was we were sitting around smoking weed, and we got talking about funerals, and I was like, "You want to know what I want to happen at my funeral?" And they're like, "What?" And I'm like, "I want to be decapitated, and I want like an 80s hairband wig glued to my head, and if anyone wants to make a sound at my funeral, they have to hold my head up like this, like it's the conch. If they want to like say anything about me or anything about anything that
Brian,
Yeah.
I would go like this, dude.
Totally. And my fist would just be stretched out like on the grudge, like.
I didn't fuck your face.
Totally. Well, Big D was like, dude, we could smoke out of your head. And I'm like, yeah, fuck works, man. Whatever. As long as you're holding it like this if you want to talk about me. Yeah. Brian was a good guy. So anyone who goes up.
You're gonna put a lantern in your fucking eyes.
Totally,
All of that
yeah.
shit out.
I'm just picturing. It looks like you've got a pipe in your mouth, but it goes all the way
Yeah.
through and out your ear.
So people can smoke it.
Yeah, like a hookah.
Yeah. Two people, two at a time.
Yeah. Smoking at the eyes.
Somebody's gotta hold it like a lantern and it's lit up so you can see what you're doing and two people are smoking out the ears.
That'd be great.
So, sleeping medium. Okay.
Okay, sorry. Delirious.
So this couple starts telling us, and this is where we're like, oh, fuck, man, really? Way out in the fucking boonies. And they're talking about how they go to these meetups. And I'm mostly on the side of fucking bullshit, but maybe they're all doing this, so obviously there's something to it. But they were talking about how they go to these meetups and shit just to hear this one lady speak. and she was basically channeling aliens.
Yeah.
So I was like, fuck. Like, really? So anyways, they were talking about how they do this. They were like hardcore into meditation before I had met my other friend that got me into meditation. And they were talking about how, let's go out to the pool. I'm like, fuck, I'm not getting in the pool with these motherfuckers.
And how did this make you feel?
I know, right? So they got in the pool. My friend, she got in the pool with them too. I just put my feet in. We're just sitting there.
Dirty.
And to back up real quick, I had a watch. Not a brand new watch, but a very nice watch. I used to go...
Infinity watch?
No. And it wasn't an
Casio
Infinity
watch?
pool. I forgot what brand it was. It was just a cool looking watch. And there was nothing wrong with it. I was on the road with my uncle who was a trucker, and we went through a way station. It was like a really nice one where you can go inside and all this shit. And there was an off-duty police officer who was selling all these repossessed goods from fucking criminals and shit up in Utah. Or no, this was Wyoming. Anyways, so I buy this watch for fucking dirt cheap, like $30. I'm like, fuck yeah, I could buy that. And it looked like it was like an expensive watch, whatever. I liked how it looked. And later on when I came back, the battery had died in it. And I bring this up because I know I just barely put a new fucking battery in this thing. Nothing was wrong with this watch. It had one little, you know how sometimes they have like multiple little pegs that you could turn and shit, but they're fucking small. Really small ones. To break them off, it would take some fucking great effort. And you probably cut yourself trying to do that. Setting all this up. So it had one knob on this thing. So I had this watch. We're in the pool. Well, I might have my feet in the pool. And they start talking about how they do this meditation and they commune with these fucking aliens and shit. And I'm like, fuck. We're way out in the middle of fucking nowhere and they're telling me this shit. I'm like, fuck. So I had to ask them all. Because they're all talking about it and they're just swimming around. And I'm like, they could be totally bullshitting me. Or they're just fucking crazy, or they really do this shit, and I really don't want to fucking be here right now.
Yeah.
Because I had already had experiences at this point. A lot of ghost, quote unquote, ghost experiences, alien, UFO experiences, whatever. And I had to ask the question, I'm all, how do you guys know you fucking did it? Oh, we don't always remember, but we're getting better at it. But we just did. I'm about to fucking shit myself. So I'm like, fuck. So like you guys
get abducted?
Yeah, well, no, they believe that they communed with these spirits and shit through meditation.
What's the difference?
I know, right? Whether it's, I'm getting chills thinking about this, whether it's in the physical or meditation, it's kind of the same fucking thing. I didn't want to fucking do that if I did do this.
Were they part of Heaven's Gate?
No, but that was around the night. That was when we met, actually, the Hellbot, all right? Yeah. The fucking comment and all that.
Are telepathic anyway.
Yeah, so I know, right? Because they never talk to you, supposedly, in English. They talk to you whatever language you speak in your head. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So they're saying, yeah, we did it. All nonchalant, you know? I was like, fuck, man. Okay, either they're crazy or some shit happened. I was like, fuck. So I look at my watch. I fucking swear on everything. I don't believe in God, but everything. Look down at my fucking watch and it stopped, dude. It's fucking dead. We're heading back in the house and I'm just like, fuck. And I look at my watch and that little knob is fucking missing, dude. Fucking clear off. I don't have any scratches on my hand, no marks. That fucking little knob on the watch is fucking gone.
Yeah.
Broken off clean at the fucking base of the watch. Fucking gone. And I'm like, I'm retracing my steps. We were in the house. We ate dinner with them. I went in this. Oh yeah, he was a musician too. So we were in his music room earlier and all that shit.
How old were you?
At this time I was 23.
Okay, damn.
Yeah, I was 23. So this was like a few years before I met you. You and I think we were still talking actually. Yeah. This was the time I met Ron. So I think we were all a band for a while, and then that thing broke up, and then me and Brian hooked up with Ron. Yeah, so I think this was like on the way out of me working with you guys at the time, with you and your brother and Jeremy. So it was around 2003. Yeah, so you know, we're hanging out in his music room, jamming, we eat dinner together, we're talking about astrology, and then they're talking about that shit. So I was looking at the watch and I was trying to put it together, and I swear, dude, I think I lost like a good couple fucking hours. Wow. That wasn't accounted for, because I'm thinking...
Would you like us to help you find them?
I know, right? So I was like, how could I have hit my watch? I was freaking out trying to figure everything out. I was like, we were music, eating dinner, talking astrology, went out to the pool for what seemed like 20 minutes or so. Watch is fucking dead from like a couple hours back, like a few hours back and shit. I'm like, but I thought I looked at my watch, but I couldn't remember if I did or not. Like the whole thing was fucking hazy. But I could have been just freaking out because of what they told me.
Yeah.
And maybe I hit my watch somewhere. And because knocking off that knob, maybe it jostled the battery. There are possible reasons for this.
Right.
But it was just weird fucking coincidences, you know?
Yeah. I think that's the thing, though, is a lot of the situations that people find themselves in experiencing supernatural weird things is coincidence. It's just like, well, this wouldn't have normally happened. No, that's why it's a coincidence.
I agree, but when it happens multiple times over,
I've had so many similar things throughout my life, yeah. And I just keep, like we were talking about when the Bryans were here. Brian and I, for some reason, when we started hanging out, we started meeting more and more people. Like, our attempt was to meet more musicians. But we kept meeting more and more people that had either, like, alleged psychic abilities or...
Only one testicle.
Yeah, one testicle, part of Heaven's Gate.
Only part.
Yeah. Only part. That's why they had one testicle.
Yeah.
So that's a crazy fucking story. We can talk about that sometime too. The Heaven's Gate motherfuckers and shit.
Yeah.
Hey, hitch a ride with a UFO and Hellbot. Yeah. Anyways, so we would meet all these crazy people. We gotta tell you about. I'm gonna throw it out there. We'll have Brian Tyson come back. We gotta tell you about Black Jesus.
Black Jesus.
We hung out all night with this dude named Black Jesus that we met at the fucking Boomerang. It was crazy. Anyways, so that's like a preview for a future episode.
Crap, you know what I forgot?
What's that?
rape.
I'm at my breaking point.
And we're back.
Yeah.
So we went well over an hour here. I don't know how long it'll be. Probably still over an hour when we edit this down. But that's the longest we've gone without a breaking point.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it wasn't even much of a breaking point. We literally came right back.
Right.
Right.
I'm so tired. I could fuck a goat.
It's goat fucker.
You have to be tired for that? Amateur.
So, you are a chupacabra. It's 2:15 in the morning, and I still have one final story to tell.
Nice.
This one is, I don't know if this is I guess it is kind of the biggest one and shit. Once again, I didn't see a UFO in this one, but you guys make the decision on this one. Okay, so I was on the computer. Remember how we had the computer right in the Arizona room, right behind the garage where we used to jam and shit?
Right.
So.
With all the porn on it?
Oh, yeah, all the porn. All the porn in the world.
All of
so.
It would just get
all
locked up. It would get porn locked.
Yeah, and shit, porn would start firing on and shit. Not even wanted. It's like, what the fuck? The printer started printing out pictures of nudes and shit.
Tits upon tits upon tits upon tits.
Right. So I'm on the computer, and my grandmother's in the front room because I was living with her at
watching
that time.
her own porn.
Yeah, she's watching her own porn. No, she's watching soap operas, and she's in the front room. I'm in the back. And mind you, this is around the time that we had bulk pickup. Yes. A lot of people know about bulk pickup. In Maryville, you put shit out for bulk pickup, it's getting picked up before bulk pickup. Right. Most of it.
Yeah.
So most of
picked through and people.
Yeah, exactly. Most of the shit was already picked up by people. All that was left out there was a mattress and a few cardboard boxes.
Yeah.
So anyways, it sounded like I heard this sound like almost like a fucking train coming, dude.
Yeah.
It was like fucking loud as shit. I'm like, what the fuck? Is it like a storm coming or something? Or what?
Watch your profanity.
So I get up from the computer. I'm like, what the fuck is that? So I walk towards the door. Mm-hmm. And the whole fucking, the glass window I had back there starts fucking shaking. Like, boom, 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 boom. I'm like, what the? But I could see through it. Nobody's shaking it. I could see through outside, middle of the day. It's sunny. There's no clouds.
It was a sunquake.
Yeah, it was a sunquake. It was sunny, so I'm like, what the fuck? It was like a train was going through our backyard, dude. It was like boom, 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 boom. The fucking door was fucking shaking.
Yeah.
And my grandmother's
door was scared.
Right? And my grandmother's all, what was that? What's going on? Because I guess to her, the front of the house was fucking shaking. And she's hearing all this like fucking loud sounds. I'm getting chills again. So...
Stop blowing on the back of his neck, Brian.
It stops, right? It just fucking stops almost as quick as it is started. Mm-hmm. So we're like, okay, let's go out front. So my grandmother and I go out front. First thing we fucking notice, the mattress that was in the front was all the way across the street, swearing everything. Up against the garage. Like standing up against the fucking garage.
Trip.
Right? So we're like, okay, microburst. My first thought was,
where did it happen? In Phoenix?
yeah, the house where we used to jam.
Yeah, that same house.
When I was staying with my
I remember you telling me this.
Yeah, I was staying with my
Long time
grandmother
ago.
because it happened shortly before I was recording the letdown for you guys. So, and it was around the time of all those fucking white UFOs that would keep coming and going and shit. This is why I think it was a UFO related thing.
Yeah.
It wasn't cloudy, other than maybe some like little trace clouds, and it was a sunny day. No wind.
okay.
No, yeah, chemtrails. No wind, right? Not windy at all. So I'm thinking,
But everyone knows it's windy.
Right.
Because windy has
it's
stormy
got to be a
nights.
microburst to fucking do. Okay, but then here's when I start putting things together. I'm like, there's no clouds other than the little wispy little fucking nothing clouds. No wind. I look up and down the street. Nobody else is coming outside
What
to.
other forces are left? The Earth's magnetics.
I'm getting-
and the fucking mattress has.
I'm
springs
getting
in
to
it and
that.
shit, right? Yeah.
And the
because-
door, the glass sliding door. What's around it?
Yeah, totally metal. So
There's more.
Metal, dude.
totally metal.
No, there's more. There's fucking more. So check this out. So I start investigating all this shit. I look up and down the road. Nobody else is coming outside to see what's going on. The house across the street that got hit with our fucking mattress, they're not coming outside. My grandmother went over there and knocked on their door. Said, "Did you hear that? What happened?" And then I'm just looking around. I'm not even thinking to go get the fucking mattress. I'm like, what the fuck? I didn't see any debris out in the road, like nothing. In the cardboard boxes, dude, this is one of the things that really stood out to me. The cardboard boxes, a couple of them made it to the road, and the rest of them were all right in fucking place in the fucking yard where we left them.
And those ones probably got
Metal.
knocked in.
There's no metal in it. And I'm thinking the other ones
Knocked in when the mattress got
flew across the street. I swear, dude, this thing was up. Again, we got to get my grandmother on the show because she's experienced so much shit with me too, and she's experienced other weird shit, especially back in Germany. But anyways, and they say this shit runs
The
in families. The ovens. But so check this out. The fucking mattress is standing straight up. So I finally get my shit together and I go and I get it, and the guy's like freaking out, like, what the fuck? You know, because he didn't hear anything.
The
And he-
language.
Right.
Language, yeah.
The language.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Shit,
No, thank
fuck.
you.
Fuck
Appreciate
shits.
it.
Shit fucks. We got to get some more shit fucks out.
Bad word.
We're almost at 2 hours, at least in the pre-edited version. So thankfully, this is the last
That's
story.
okay.
The last episode
These
of
are
this
good
series.
I know, right? Everybody's going to tune out after this. It got too fucking real. So I look back at the house, right? The fucking antenna. Have you ever noticed how that antenna's all fucking bent that was on that house? The old TV that we obviously didn't use anymore.
Yeah.
But it was all fucking bent up. Some of the shingles were like this.
Fuck.
On the edge, all on that side of the fucking house. And then
So, like it was magnetic. I
it had to have been magnetic.
yeah.
I'm a good guesser. I'm like Sherlock mother.
You knew it was going.
Fucking
Yeah, because the
Holmes.
fucking door shook like it was gonna fucking come off the fucking
Yeah.
track. But it had metal.
So and the thing is that no one saw anything, right? Yeah.
Nobody else heard it and saw it. How the fuck? And the other two that lived with us, who we won't speak their name,
I think
they didn't hear shit. They slept right through it. Only it's like my grandmother and I were the only ones that experienced this shit. But yet the guy across the street witnessed the fact that there's a mattress up against his garage.
I'm pretty sure cloaking technology exists.
Yeah. But what the fuck happened? Did I lose time then? I don't feel like it
coffee
did.
ice cream exists.
But so what would be the point of just kind of coming down, like, nope, and leaving?
Yeah.
So it freaks me
It
out
might have
because
just been sitting there.
yeah, hanging out and then took off.
Yeah.
Dude, that was one of the most freakiest encounters I had with potentially a UFO because even though I didn't see it, it had all the hallmarks of a fucking UFO.
It was Bigfoot.
Yeah.
He
What if
farted.
they,
It
Blow the
was-
batteries
it
away.
was
What if
nasty.
the T-1000 came from?
In the fucking ball.
Like, came, and then all the little bits of his semen come right back into him, like into his
Oh,
toe.
that's yeah.
Oh shit.
He just spooges onto the ground,
And this
then it
tiny
just all
little one is
pulls
just
up and
like,
then comes.
have you seen this boy?
But these are all the stories. So these are all the UFO stories I remember. And like I said, sometimes other things would like shake them loose from my memory and I would remember them again and shit. Or like the story with like James and stuff where he brought it back up when we
That was a
visited with
good
him.
one. They're all good, man.
Yeah, like I said, some of them were just short little blips. Like I see
You're a
them,
short little blip.
I see them and they're gone. But the thing that ties them all together is that feeling.
String.
And I want to ask
Right.
our audience, You got write us. Tell us if you've seen UFOs or ghosts or any
at gmail.com.
Exactly, or comment on any of our social medias.
That's the thing I try to tell people is like, it's not that you thought you were possessed by a ghost or had sleep paralysis or just sort of say it's the feeling that you get. There's other times where you're like, it could have been this, and you know that it's probably nothing.
You're trying to explain it away, but there's that feeling. What made you become alert?
Right, exactly.
In every one of these cases, if you remember, almost every one of these cases I talked about tonight, it always preceded by that feeling.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
That need to look up, the need to look around the corner,
like
the need to
watched and shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Except for when the house shook, that just kind of came upon me. But
gross.
And then of course like the whole medium thing and shit. But
so I try to tell people it's the experience.
Yes.
It's being.
Now a lot of experience you get freaked out after the fact, but a lot of these cases where I was freaked out ahead of time, like it was like dun, and then it fucking happened. I'm like, fuck. It was
almost like deja vu.
Yeah.
Not really deja vu.
But getting the fucking panic attack ahead of seeing what's going to give you the panic attack.
Yeah.
Deja vu.
You're not.
Deja do.
Now, I have other stories that we could talk about on subsequent episodes.
So is that when a shit reminds you of another shit you had?
There you go.
Yeah.
Deja do.
Deja do.
Yeah, that's.
You don't do what the doo-doo do. You do not mess with the doo-doos. So I have other stories we'll talk about on other episodes because
Me too.
It goes into entities, but this is my UFO stories.
All right.
Boomskis. Ufopalooza. We got through it. It's over 2 hours now, but it's not going to be 2 hours when you hear this.
Yeah.
It's good.
And a lot of the other fun stuff that they were talking about, you'll hear some of those tangents as like freebies on the side. We're keeping them. We need to edit this shit down. I don't think the public needs part 1 and part 2 of Oofopalooza. We could streamline this shit.
Probably.
But yeah, so write us if you've had similar experiences and that feeling that we're all talking about that precedes these events. Let us know.
Yeah.
There's got to be something to it. Something's got to be something.
It's never too crazy.
And if I disappear
until it gets too crazy,
you guys know why.
And you know what they all say? You put your left foot in, you put your left foot out, you put your left foot in, and then you shake it all about.
Exactly. And that's what it's all about. All right, everybody.
Good night.
Hit us up on the social medias, follow, subscribe.
Social media.
Let us know if you want some more Brian Collier on the show, because we like having this guy around.
That was his impression of that thing back there.
Yeah.
Good night. And what the fuck is that? Do you guys see that?
Holy shit.